What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about DEC since we haven't talked about DEC in a minute, and what I specifically want to focus on is the DEC burn rate, which is now consistent and actually significantly higher than it has been in the past. Now, before the Gladiator burn that happened, the Gladiator purge that happened earlier this year, as well as the LP purge, we had about maybe like 1 million DEC that was getting burned a day. And that was actually with a little bit more of an active marketplace as well. So that was kind of the run rate that people were looking at, right? Daily, we were burning about 1 million DEC. Now, you can see here that on the 1 day, we're burning over 3 million, almost 3.5 million. And if you take a look at the 7 day, we're at 25 million. Now, this is interesting, right? Because this is, if you consider the fact that, yes, we just had the unlocking, right, or unbinding, I should say, for the Chaos Agent reward cards, but that was 2 weeks ago, right? So that doesn't count in this 7 day number, right? If you'd have to go back to the 30 day and see that we burned 104 million, and what's even crazier is that before that, in the month previous, we only burned 8 million, right? Just again, so you can see how much things have ramped up just on a regular and ongoing basis. Now, keep in mind, the numbers that we're looking at here are a net number. So if reward cards continue to get burned, we're not even necessarily counting that in terms of how much is actually getting burned. All we're really looking at is the net, but the net being at 3 million or over 3 million is actually quite amazing when you think about the fact that if we can sustain this for the foreseeable future, we're burning 100 million DEC a month. Now, again, that's without anything else that we're considering. And yes, can we probably assume that some of the fervor is still from the unbinding? Absolutely. Will that slow down over time? Yes, it will. But will there be opportunities where people who unbind will have to pay a higher price, right? 11x, 12x, 13x the DEC? Yes, we'll see that too. But here's the thing, if we're burning 100 million DEC, and before I even get into that, I actually think a big driver of this now is not just the fees, not just the unlocks or unbinding, and not just the market fees, I should say, but actually the tournaments. I think tournaments are starting to burn a significant amount of DEC, and I called that out in a previous video or in a live stream. And, if we quantify it, I would love to, maybe I'll save that for another video to go back and actually see how much DEC that we're burning from these tournaments. I think it's starting to be significant. Some of these tournaments, especially the higher level ones, are burning 100,000 in a day, right? And if we have multiple of them, all of a sudden, we're doing 3, 4, 500,000 across all the different tournaments, maybe even more than that. And that's really starting to add up over time as people are participating and continuing and probably will continue to participate in the future. So all that being said, I'm looking at this and thinking to myself, all right, we're probably doing about 100 million a month in terms of burning DEC right now. That's fantastic. What are we not factoring in? Because keep in mind, this is before we have DEC utility or voucher utility pushed over to DEC, right? So the Wild Season Pass as well as energy. Now, how much of that is going to translate over? I don't know, right? At least initially, it's not going to make as much sense from an energy standpoint. And if you look at, 3,000 accounts playing in Wild, if we even get that much, right? We're getting that much now, about a little bit over 3,000. But if we were to get 3,000, that's 6 million per season, right? 12 million per month. Again, that's nothing to sneeze at. But again, we're not moving the needle. That's a 12% increase. We're not moving the needle much from the 100 million. Again, granted, if that continues to grow and we start to see more, that would be even better. But this is kind of where things are at for us right now. If we continue at this pace, and I'm recording this right before September begins, so we got about 4 months. If we continue at this pace, right, all of a sudden, we're going to burn a significant amount of DEC to get down to maybe the 5.2 billion range. And what this is not accounting for, right, in addition to the voucher utility coming over, is the fact that we're about to get promo cards, right, probably or up to 2 promo cards per month, which is going to be interesting, and then a potential mini set. Combined with the fact that Rebellion is slated to sell out or burn out by mid-December. I think December 18th is the date that I was just calculating recently. So all that being said, there's a lot coming for DEC in the future. That's not including what we have in terms of like this new burn rate. And if we see more market activity, whether it's for new promo cards, whether it's for SPS rentals, whether it's for a mini set or the unlocking of Rebellion cards, if that comes sooner rather than later, all of that stuff is going to be adding to the DEC burn rate. So all in all, I'm trying to give like a little bit of a projection here, right? My whole thing is if we can get down back to near the 5 billion range. Actually, I was thinking even like 5.4 billion range, but then the team took out 600 million DEC from the Dow, of which you can see we've almost, the team's gotten rid of almost 200 million of that DEC. So that's back in circulation, of which we've burned about 100 million of that. But you can see how all this stuff is starting to like come together. Hopefully, once these not reward cards, but promo cards start coming into the mix, we will start wiping out some of the DEC supply from not necessarily burning it, but locking it back up into the Dow and get us back to, I think we were like 1.8 million or something. Well, sorry, 1.8 billion at a certain point in time. But when you consider this new run rate, when you consider all of the potential things that are coming in the future that will either burn more DEC or lock it up in the Dow, the next 4 months could get really interesting. And I would like to see us get to a point where maybe we can get the DEC supply overall down to the 5 billion range. Because I think if we can do that, that would put us in a very similar position to where we were, if memory serves me right, that will put us in a very similar position to where we were at the beginning of this year or end of last year when Rebellion was brand new. We had locked up a ton of DEC and we had burned a ton of DEC, and we were finally in a position where the flywheel was activated. We got SPS all the way up to 3 cents. So I'm not saying that that's where we're going to go. I'm just saying if you look at the math here, right, in terms of the burn rate the new burn rate that we've established, which is about 100 million, maybe more, right? If we start to see energy and more accounts coming into wild, maybe more. I mean, that could get us down near the 5 billion range, or at least in terms of this projection, that's 5.2 billion by the end of the month just from the burn rate. You take into account all of the ways in which we might start locking up significant amounts of DEC in the Dow through the promo cards, through Rebellion, through a mini set. And the end of the year could get really exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we get some news about these promo cards in the very near future as we are turning the corner into September very soon. But that is all I have for you guys. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a DEC health check. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.